Welcome back to Heartbeat West, and we are now at a wonderful new location, the Mary Hunter Gallery on Post Street in San Francisco. And my very wonderful guest is the inimitable sculptor, Harry Jackson. Welcome to Heartbeat West.
Thank you very much, Susan.
What a delight to have you here, and I mean it sincerely.
It's very mutual. It's mutual to be here and be delighted to be here.
I am thinking that our viewers are seeing you and they're thinking, they immediately recognize your sculptors, but they are saying, I know I have seen him someplace before. Yes, you have. There was a wonderful.
In the post office.
No,
Men Wanted. You mean
one of his sculptures was of John Wayne, wasn't it?
John Wayne, yes,
Time magazine, Life magazine did a wonderful article about him. A documentary was done on Harry Jackson and narrated by John Wayne. In fact, he was in that, wasn't he?
He was in it. He was in it was a 1-hour documentary on me and my life. Yeah.
And which, well, hopefully we are just going to bring you the essence of Harry Jackson and what he has done just in the past couple of weeks. Wait until you see this. This is absolutely fabulous, Harry. And
I did this.
Something new for you, isn't it?
A brand new piece. And I just finished painting him in my studio in Italy. Let's see, 3 days ago. 3 days ago.
I am surprised that the paint is still dry. How fabulous this is. He is glorious.
Just turn him around here.
Now tell me, Harry, what about this medium? Because generally you are known for your incredible bronzes.
Well, this is bronze. This is bronze underneath here.
Bronze.
Well, yeah, there's a painted bronze back over there, and, and there's a painted bronze there.
I think what I'm saying is this is almost an impressionistic abstract feel.
Yes,
Something a little different than the others.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just different. I mean, you live and grow and change.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, you are very unique in the fact being that you come to Cody, Wyoming for inspiration and subject matter, and then the execution
I do,
is in Italy.
Well, the casting is in Italy, the bronze casting itself. And I do create some works in Italy, but I create most of my works in Wyoming, in my big studio in Wyoming.
What inspires you, Harry?
Whatever turns me on. It's very difficult to say. It's very difficult to say.
It is of the moment.
No, it's timeless. It's quite timeless. The level of inspiration is there is no time there. There's no time at all. I mean, it's totally timeless. It may appear to happen in just that faster than that, but it's absolutely on that level. It's quite timeless.
But with your subject matter, for instance, the vitality one can feel. I feel as if I can read his thoughts.
Good.
With this particular face, and that is your style. One sees, for instance, in the wonderful bronze, the burial. You feel what the cowboys are thinking when you see a particular Harry Jackson bronze. With Sacagawea, in fact, we must share this with you. This was just recently completed. Tell me about this, Harry. Well,
I did a large monument. I did a 10-foot figure, and the 10-foot figure, and if the cameraman can just bear with me for a moment, we'll come back to this lady and see the painted version of it right here. And I did this in patinaed bronze. I had that as my concept.
Yes.
And then I decided to paint her. And here's a photograph of her right here. We'll show that to you later, I think.
How wonderful.
But
how fabulous.
The 10-foot figure was based upon this concept right here. And this is the sculpture before it was painted. This is a sculpture before it was painted. It's at the Buffalo Bill Historical Center in Cody, Wyoming.
Yes, and this was dedicated in July, wasn't it?
July 4th.
July 4th.
That's right.
July 4th.
Christmas in Wyoming.
Yeah.
4th of July.
And truly it is.
Right.
Truly it is. Let us discuss, though, Harry, because your concepts, the feeling, there is a certain feeling that you bring forth in your bronzes.
I hope
inimitable.
so. I hope so. That's what I get after. That's what I want. That's what I want.
You certainly achieve it. How do you achieve this?
I don't know. See, I must not ever know about that. Nobody must ever know about that. It's not knowable. That is not knowable.
As you are working, though, with
technique is knowable.
Yes.
Technique is knowable. Skill is knowable. You know, that sort of thing. Craftsmanship is terribly knowable. One should be able to do that in the dark, backwards. You know, count from 1 to 10, then from 10 to 1, and then do the even numbers, and then the odd numbers. But the spirit, that sort of thing, you can never know about that.
And it is not definable.
Absolutely not. No. What you do is you build a sculpture, or make a painting, or write a poem, or a novel, or something like that around it. Around it. It's the part which is you can't say. It's impalpable. You can't feel it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. It's there, you see.
Seeing Sacagawea and how beautiful, and the movement and the fluidity of the bronze, and to achieve this in bronze, believe me, if ever you have even tried to mold something in clay, you know what a monumental task. And the
no, wait, just a minute.
Yes.
Susan, that's lovely. Now, you just said something which, and I want to get that clear for our audience, okay?
Yes.
Because a lot of people make that mistake. I mean, some very, very important people in the art world make that mistake. I do not mold the bronze. Nobody molds the bronze. The bronze is poured. Mm-hmm. You mold things like wax and clay and that sort of thing, see, malleable things. And then you make a series of molds and what have you. There's a series of steps in that. And then finally the bronze is poured into the mold. I mean, it's very important.
No, I'm happy you
Henry Moore, the great English sculptor, I was at his home in Much Haddam outside of London a few years ago, and doing some research on a book about lost wax bronze casting. I wrote the book ultimately a couple of years later. And he said, "My Lord Harry, do that book." I said, "Do that book," he said. He had that sort of Midlands way of talking. I can't imitate it. But he said, "You must do that book." He said, "You know, a few months ago," and then he sort of whispered in my ear, and he named a very famous name, a world important name, a world girding name in the art world. A name which the audience would all know. If I named it, I don't dare name it, you see. And this man said to him one evening at dinner, he said, "Oh," he said, "I'm so impressed by the way you just have taken that bronze in your hand, you see, and I can feel the marks of your direct chiseling on it, you see." And poor Henry said, "Write the book, tell them that it's poured." He says, so that's it, you see.
I am happy you made the clarification.
Okay, good.
One reason I am not trying to redo my glaring faux pas, but
no, it's not. It's a very common mistake. It's a common mistake. That's why I took you up on it. It's a chance to tell people about that.
I am delighted you did. But I think if anyone has ever worked in clay, they know the challenges that exist. There is a different challenge that exists in working in bronze. For instance, with this particular,
yes,
this is, I wish to share this with the viewers because this is very famous. Now, didn't President Ford give this to,
he did,
one like it to Queen Elizabeth?
He gave one a bit larger than it, about that big. It was chosen by the Fords to be given as our bicentennial gift to Queen and Prince, Queen of England and Prince Philip.
How did that make you feel, Harry?
Oh,
were you just overwhelmed?
You know, as tall as a man can feel, and still have his feet on the ground.
But you know, there is so much action. I mean, one can feel the horse under Clayton Danks.
It was interesting because the horse was an English horse. It was made in heaven, that gift, because the horse was raised, foaled and raised on an English ranch, English-owned ranch, British money, and it was the Two Bars outfit in Chugwater, Wyoming, and so that was the Swan Land and Cattle Company, I think, and then it was just barely came within a hair's breadth of throwing Danks to the ground. Danks won 2 world championships riding steamboat, and you know, he said it was an American conquering an Englishman, but just barely, you see, so it was quite proper. It was quite proper. I sort of lost my thought there for a moment.
No, that is right. In fact, I do wish to touch on the next bronze.
All right, fine.
Which is the steer roper, and here again you have incorporated a totally different feel, but again, inimitable.
Good.
Style of Harry Jackson.
He's just one man steer roping, steer jerking, steer busting. Whatever you want to call it, and he ropes the animal, then he throws his trip around the animal's quarters here and rides off, and throws him to the ground, steps off his horse, and ties 3 legs and hog ties him.
But now, Harry, watching and seeing this, as I say, that the essence, the feeling is there. You obviously rode. You were a cowboy.
Yes, I was. I've never done this particular. I have. As a matter of fact, I have single steer roped a couple times in the hills, but I've never done it as a contest, as any kind of a sport. And I admire the men that do that. It's one of the most beautiful things you can see.
It is. When it is executed properly.
Oh, you bet. It's outlawed in several states.
Is it now?
It's outlawed in several states, but I think that's very foolish. I think it's very foolish.
Well, it is something that is there, and it's quite wonderful, as all of your sculptors always are. This time was entirely too short. I thank you for being with me.
Good.
And
well, perhaps we can get together again
the definitive between
Come over to Italy.
clay and
Come over to Italy.
bronze. I shall. That will be a gift.
Okay, great.
And today, be as special as you and Harry Jackson's sculptors. Do see. They are in all notable galleries. Enjoy. Happiness from Heartbeat West.